grounds unto thee. Do not be afraid, your Father's saving grace. Do not hesitate, let's reignite your faith. Divine encounters are alive. Divine encounters, our life's design.
And thank you for joining me, Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo. And today I am bringing with here a supernatural story time. And of course, I, the Aquarius water bear, bringing inspiration from the divine. And you guys know this is where I go ahead and I say to you, you should have some high quality H2O, because this is not just a passive watching show. This is a show that's going to shift you, move you, energize you, and recharge you. And for that, we're going to be needing high quality H2O in our system. And of course, as always, to your health. I have an amazing story time for you guys today. I have a great friend of mine, Jim, here, and he's going to be sharing with you guys about his vision and the Sky Fox. And this is going to be an amazing experience. You guys, I know I am here live streaming every Wednesday at 7 p.m. with a supernatural story time and a different guest each week. And every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, bringing your weekly horoscopes. If you want to work with me or learn with me, feel free to reach out at howwellness.com, or you can join my free meetup group and learn with me at www.meetup.com/Awaken Philadelphia. Now, today there is not an angel blessing winner because no one emailed me this week to let me know that they wanted to be a part of it. So if you want to try to win an angel blessing, all you have to do is with this live or the replay, share it, comment that you shared it, and then email me with the subject title, Ask the Oracle. And don't forget to put your name in so that I know who the winner is. Okay, guys, and you guys know that this is going to be an amazing show. We're going to be having the divine experience moments. We're going to be having the good news. And of course, we're going to be having the Apollo games. And at the end, when Jim finished telling us his story, we're going to be able to go into the midweek collective energy. And I actually have a new segment for you with the 1-minute astrology for the week. So first of all, let's get him through that vortex. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, there you are. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. That was some trip.
Oof. I know, sometimes particles get lost in there. It's kind of like when you throw the socks in the dryer and you're just like, I don't know what happened to the left one.
Yeah, but I have everything. I'm all here. So it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. We have some friends here. We have Erica tuning in today. Hi, Erica.
Hey, Erica.
Tina's tuning in. Erica's sharing with some friends. I see you, Erica. Hi, May. How are you? Thank you guys for joining, everyone. Hi, Tina. So this is my friend Jim. I'm going to let him introduce himself to you guys. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, friend.
All right. First of all, thank you for allowing me to be on your show, Divine Encounters. My name is Jim Wilson. I'm an ordained minister, so Presbyterian Church USA. And I am one who likes to take journeys. And so I would say the best way to describe me is a sojourner, that from day one, as far as back as I can remember, I was always on some type of trip, either within my imagination or literally across the face of the earth. I have a very diverse background in which I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked at Pepsi Cola and Perrier, the corporation world for a while. And then I had a complete change and went to seminary. And so I've been doing ministry and chaplaincy since 1995. And so it's been quite the experience. And so currently, yeah. So currently I'm walking across America. Or traveling across America. And I've been on the road since July 23rd of this year. And I'm currently in Farmington, New Mexico. So,
What?
yeah,
So
it's
what
been
is this for? Tell us a little bit about that. What's going on?
As I said before, I'm always taking a journey. I have this strong desire and will to always be learning and growing. So the past year, in short, has been a very difficult one.
Wow.
Last August, I lost my son to a drug overdose, and then it was just a series of other things that happened. In November, I received a diagnosis of congestive heart failure. But
Wow.
things seemed to be fine. But then we entered into this strange dimension of 2020. And since the beginning of the year with COVID and then with all the social unrest and all of the things that are taking place, I really wanted to just help. There's something I just wanted to go out and just wanted to help. And so the best way for me was to go out and listen to people's stories because we all have stories of heartache and of pain. We all have stories of joys and sorrows. We have stories of dreams fulfilled, dreams delayed, and dreams denied.
Wow.
And when we connect at that level, at the heart level, beyond everything else, we find ourselves that we have a lot more in common than we think we don't. And so I'm out here listening to amazing stories and sharing them on my Facebook page to let people know that there are beautiful people out here, regardless if you agree or disagree. And
Yes.
so that's what I'm currently doing.
And you can check out his Facebook page right here in the words at the bottom of the screen at Listening to Us with the number 2 happening there.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, that sounds like an amazing adventure. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited because I got to like a little preview of it since, you had to fill out a little form to get here. But I was really excited about it. So it's like, I just can't wait for everybody here to check out this story because it's going to be so good. And speaking of good, it's the good news. So why don't we jump? You guys know it's the current energies of the week. And we're going to jump right into that. And we'll see you right back here in a minute. All right, jumping into the good news, guys. Okay, the good news this week is the Meadow card, vulnerability. The meadow in this card invites us in with its beauty and openness. The flowers have arranged themselves in a poetic design orchestrated by nature, and the lush rolling field urges us to relax and stay for a while. Yet, for some, the idea of being in such an open space is quite terrifying. And in an expansive meadow like this, we may feel exposed and defenseless, lacking the perceived safety of the enclosed area. For others, walking through a meadow can be an exquisitely satisfying experience. We can feel comfortable in the openness and visibility, enjoying the 360-degree view with nothing but the sky above. Yes, we may feel still a little vulnerable, but with a twist. This is a vulnerability built on the foundation of trust rather than fear, the capacity to trust our own instincts to tell us if there are any potential threats we must respond to. By relying on this instinctual knowing, we can relax and enjoy the beauty that surrounds us. You are in a space now where you can take risk with your feelings, and even more important, take risk with the truth of who you are, the truth you know in your heart and soul. You no longer need to be subjected to your conditioned fears of letting others know who you really are. Yes, others might judge, evaluate, criticize, and perhaps even put you down. There are even real responsibilities. Yet by trusting that you have the strength and deal with these reactions, rather than responding adaptively and always playing it safe, you can more confidently allow yourself to be vulnerable, always holding back from expressing your truth and create an illusion of safety, but armed with the trust and your faith, and you can choose to be vulnerable and share your authentic self with the world. Hey, you're back.
Hey.
And that was the good news. I hope that I feel like that's kind of like the perfect card to summarize what we're about to talk about today, too. Just even with what you were sharing about having all of these different stories from all of these different persons and these different experiences, I just felt like you have to be vulnerable in those situations. Otherwise, ego won't let you intake the lessons.
Yes, I so agree. Vulnerability, I think, is a key stepping stone for spiritual growth, for any growth. You allow space, and I think that's so important.
I agree. So, sir, I've heard that you were on a vision quest, you were saying. So can you just explain to the people at home what that is for those who don't know?
Absolutely. A vision quest is an ancient, in Native American in particular, spiritual process. Back in the day when young men were coming of age, and it was probably women too, were coming of age, they had to find out what their gift was and what their purpose was in the world. It was also an opportunity to transition from adolescence into adulthood. And so they had this ritual set up. So as a vision quest is very similar to what many people have heard about as a walkabout, where you walk along the land. So the vision quest is that you walk along the land. You don't have any support. You're out there by yourself. And it's a very physically challenging situation, but also a very spiritual one. And as you're out there, you are in tune with nature. And so nature speaks to you through symbols, through metaphors, because I firmly believe that when you have a physical quest, that mirrors your spiritual quest as well. And your spiritual quest mirrors your physical quest. So everything that's going on with inside of you will be reflected to you in the outside world. And everything that's going on in the outside world will have a tendency to reflect what's going on in your inner world. And so it's an opportunity to merge both material and spiritual to be able to find deep meaning and to be able to resonate with that. And so
I resonate with that. I feel energy coming. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel energy like ramping up right now as you're talking about this. So I know this is going to be good. I'm just going to get myself in my seat real quick and let me touch my grounding mat because it's already happening.
Sure.
I'm there.
Yeah, I can give you a quick example before I jump into the story as far as what I
Sure.
just said. So growing up, one of my biggest fears was moths.
A lot of us don't
And
like moths.
yes, I didn't like moths. And what really bothered me particularly is the shadow that it cast. And so when a moth was around, it was a tiny little thing. However, the shadow that it cast was so much larger. And so that used to scare me like I don't know what. And it bothers me. So one of the experiences I had that brought great insight and healing was that I was out on my solo part of the vision quest where I was alone 3 days without anybody else around in my own space in the wilderness. Here I am from Philly.
I
in the
know. I was going to say,
wilderness.
we're from Philly. What? You can't even get me like, no.
Yeah. And so what happened on the first night is that a moth appeared and it was casting a shadow on my where I was dwelling that night. And at first I reacted, but then I opened myself up. I became vulnerable to what the experience was. What's the lesson? And as I allowed myself to be in that lesson in that moment, I had a realization that the moth is just the butterfly of night. And I'm afraid of my shadow. I'm afraid of the moth shadow. So if I stop looking at the shadow and look at the beauty of the moth, I realized that there was nothing to be afraid of.
I got goosebumps all over. I
But
got goosebumps everywhere.
And that's just one of the many examples of learning and realizations that I had.
Wow. And it's true. And I feel like I had that same relationship with moths, not really appreciating them. And this year I started to appreciate it because one landed on me and it was so furry. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. You're creepy, but I really like it. It's beautiful.
That's awesome. That is awesome. It is awesome.
Wow. We already have people shifting, and we're going to be seeing this as the time goes on. And this just is the side effect of being here in Divine Encounters because we invited everybody in. I don't know. I invited everybody. It's a party right now. So Jim, you're going to be telling us about your vision quest. How long was yours total, I guess?
The total Well, the actual quest lasted 9 days. However, I love Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell is the writer of A Hero of 10,000 Faces.
Okay.
And if you're ever interested in the hero's journey, that is a great place to start because the hero's journey gives you kind of an outline as far as what happens when you go on a journey. And
Mm.
so, even though the particular quest, while I was there in Four Corners, it started out in Colorado, the journey started before then. So as soon as I decided that I was going to take this journey, that's when the magic started to happen. And the magic started to happen several weeks before I actually left. And and it was amazing. It was as if I was living in my own movie, just getting there. There are stories after stories of like, wow, this is crazy, how this is unfolding. So it was 9 days. And of the 9 days, there were 3 days solo in the high desert lands of Utah. And so what that means is that for 3 days, it was 3 days of fasting, just
Oh.
water. And I was by myself. There were 10 of us, 12 of us that went. Unfortunately, a couple people had to drop out because it just became too much for them.
Mm.
But we had 3 days by ourselves. We had 2 days in the beginning, just prepping, 2 days in the back end, and then we had group camp time where we were together and getting acclimated to the environment. And being from Philly, I was the first one and only one that has never really camped. Uh, so that was interesting. But I was well
Trial by
prepared.
fire.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was thrown into the furnace. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. So just on a side note, when the first night that we went out and we camped, it was in September, and I put on all my clothes because I was afraid. I was sleeping, and something came out of the tree and pulled on my backpack and freaked me out. I was sweating. I was uncomfortable. I was awake all night. By the end of the camping part, I was free. Let's just say I was totally free, uninhibited, and I just stretched out on Mother Earth, and it didn't bother me. So
Wow.
that was how impactful that was. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. We went through portals and we opened things up to create this world. And what I loved about Animus Valley Institute, which was the organization that I went with, is that they had certified people that knew the land, that knew nature, and they had certified psychologists and clinicians. And they were
Mm.
very well versed in Native American rituals. And so we practice and we participate in a lot of rituals. So that was amazing to have that type of backup.
Yeah, because I feel like the people paint the stage for your comfort, right?
Yes,
If you have hospitable hosts and knowledgeable hosts, you're going to feel more at ease. And I feel like the whole process is going to be easier because it's not meant to be a comfortable process.
that is correct.
But it's
You
good to
know,
know that you had a very powerful support team.
yeah, that was important to make sure I found the right organization to go with. And I tell you, Animus Valley Institute out of I think it's Durango, Colorado, was amazing. So they led us and they prepared us as much as they could because the rest was left up to us and our spirit, what we were going to do. And so the amazing part is that I had many, many experiences that happened out there. And it was incredible. And I wrote my journal and I kept them all. And to be honest with you, it's a movie in and of itself. And because that's what it felt like. It felt like I was living in my own movie. So the part that I submitted to you that I was going to write about was that I had this amazing experience where you can consider out of body experience or you can consider a sense of high awareness, however you want to describe it. There was this moment in time in which I was able to experience three different aspects of myself at the same time using Mother Nature as the background. And
Oh,
so that just all came together and really, it was an amazing experience. So if you can imagine you're sitting in a movie theater and you're watching this mystical experience taking place. On one side, there's this huge pine tree.
Okay.
And this huge pine tree is straight and it's tall. And for me, in that moment, I assigned it the role of ego, my adult child, that part of myself that had to grow up rather quickly and did his job early on in childhood, but it still had maladaptive coping skills as I got older. So it was that part of myself that was not yet complete.
Okay.
Then on the other side, there was this beautiful wall, rock formation that looked like a womb. And that was an amazing experience in of itself. And there are things that I can share with you about that another time. But on that side of myself, I saw my younger self, my wild child, that energetic being that comes into the world full of innocence and has not yet been tainted or jaded by the world. And so I had two opposing figures.
Let me stop you for one
Yes,
second.
go ahead.
Just 1 second.
Yep.
So when I was shuffling today for the good news, 2 cards fell out, and the second one was this card. And I felt like it was your card.
Innocence.
I am
How do you
not
like that?
kidding. I am not kidding. I was like, okay, this is his card. I'll put it to the side. The other one's for everybody else. And this one is his. And it's like you're literally like just now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
That makes perfect sense. And so the experience was observing and redirecting that part of myself that needed to grow. And so I call that part of myself my loyal soldier.
Mhm.
That part that will just go into action and do what it needs to do. And so I see my wild child and I see my loyal soldier. Then my wise sage appeared. And I'm watching all of this. And it's as if it's a hologram. I don't actually see it per se, but I can kind of see this and envision it. And it's like this hologram of these 3 individuals that I'm observing. So my wise sage came in and talked with my loyal soldier and said, it's time to thank you. It's time to honor you for the work that you have done up until now. And a lot of people, sometimes people walk around the phase is kill off ego. And that sounds so permanent. And also, I
Not
don't know
possible.
if that was that.
And also not possible because you're a human. You needed to navigate this physical experience.
Absolutely. And so we were given ways in which we could redirect that aspect of ourselves, retrain that aspect of ourselves, give that aspect of ourselves new orders, educate that part of ourselves, because that's one of the things that's missing. And so I was able to give it new orders. And the new orders that I began to give it was continue to watch over Wild Child, but allow Wild Child to be free. Protect Wild Child, but in a healthy way. And
Right.
so my sage was talking to that part of myself, again, it symbolized in this huge pine tree that was there. And while my sage was talking to that aspect of myself, I saw and envisioned my wild child just playing in mud. And my wild child actually created a figure that looked almost like Oscar from the Oscars. And it was pretty cool. It had that shape and it was just playing. And so the sage had that conversation and I was observing all this. And one of the most amazing things that happened after that, I literally felt a shift. Everything turned 1/4 turn to the right. It was a complete shift. And it's as if the earth had shifted along with it. And I was seeing and feeling this, and I was amazed at the experience. I couldn't believe that I was in that moment. And this happened during my solo time. It was unbelievable. And that's just one of the many, many stories that came out of that. But that was one that I wanted to share because when we're able to step back and observe ourselves, truly just be quiet and be still, there's a lot that we can see. And there's a lot that can actually change. And when we see and feel that change, we know that it's real.
Exactly. And then we can integrate it. It's like you can hear someone else say, this is how you ride a bike. But it's not until you physically get on that you can start to make the judgments of how to balance your own self. You can read about it, you can have people tell you, but you still have to experience it so that you can find that center point for yourself.
Absolutely.
Well, that sounds divine. And with that being said, you guys know it's that time already. We're going to go into our divine experience, and hopefully my camera will, come back into focus. So this divine experience, if you guys haven't been here with me before, is going to be a 1 minute. There we go. A 1 minute distance healing for you guys today. And all you have to do is be willing to receive. Do you want to receive a minute of Reiki today, Jim?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Do you want to give or just receive?
I'll just receive.
Okay, you're just receiving. Great.
Yes.
So everybody at home, go ahead, put me down to the side. We're going to do exactly 60 seconds on the clock starting.
Divine encounters, alright. Divine encounters, our life's design.
Okay, 60 seconds on the clock happening. Go ahead and have your eyes closed and just breathe into this heart space of yours, bringing beautiful golden light into yourself. And on the exhale, releasing what no longer serves you, breathing into that heart and allowing all the beauty of the world to just live here. Feel gratitude arise, feel acceptance arise, feel beauty arise, and let that space just fill and fill and fill, and allow this to expand so greatly that it starts to fill your entire body, all of your organs, your muscles, your tendons, your physical self, your cellular level, and breathing in all this beautiful, loving light and acceptance for all that you are, and exhaling everything that no longer serves you. And now all collectively, we're going to take one big breath in, and on the exhale, we're going to send it into the belly to keep that energy for later. Big breath in, everyone. And send it to the belly. And thank your angels, guides, and ascended masters. And you guys can open your eyes and pick me back up off that floor because it's cold. And here in the comment section right now, you guys are going to go ahead and from 1 to 10, let me know how you're feeling. If you want to let me know how you were feeling before this divine experience, I would like to know. I would say before I was at like 8.7. And now I feel myself climbing still. So I'm at a 9.6. This is where I'm going. I still feel my energy climbing though. How are you feeling, Jim?
Great. I decided to give and receive as I went in, and I'm feeling a 9 right now. I would say it was probably an 8 previously, and I'm feeling a 9 right now. There's definitely a sense of comfort and soothing energy right now.
All of that in 1 minute. Isn't that nice? It's
Yes,
kind
it
of
is.
like the realization of how much 1 minute of meditation could help you in your day and shift you. 2 points, it looks like. Samantha says she was a 7 before she started, and now she's a 9. Coral
Awesome.
says, I was walking my dog, but I did it walking and I felt a shift. 6 and 8. That's great. That's fantastic. So thank you guys at home for sharing that with us. And if you're watching this on the watch party, then I am also here still watching your comments. So please feel free to engage with me because I'm right here. Awesome. So we have coming into another story. I had no sound effects for that, so I had to make my own. And Erica says she was at a 6, but I feel like I'm moving up. I felt the goosies. Oh, I never heard it called that, the goosies.
That's awesome.
Your story reminded me of the moths of this spider, the daddy long legs, the one that it can't bite like people, but it's still pretty freaky because he's so huge, and it's just like, whoa, you're a spider guy, like, and you're freaking me out, right?
Right.
So I was in Illinois a few weeks ago traveling, and man, there were so many of them for like days and days. I would try to meditate, and I would but by like the 5th day, I was just like, hey man, like I just stopped caring. I'm just like, hey man, cool, just don't go on my face. Just don't go on my face. So you kind of just get used to them being around, and you realize, okay, I'm in your space. So
Right. It's a good way
yeah,
of looking at it.
I'm in your house. So let me wipe my feet while I get on the carpet.
Mm.
Okay, Fred, jumping into that story, which one are you going to be jumping into now?
Well, along in the same experience, I received an incredible download on the Vision Quest. You know, the the thought and feeling of inspiration just poured open. And my mind was just receiving, my spirit was just receiving so much that I was writing feverishly, everything that was coming to me. And so part of the hero's journey and part of these types of experiences, you're not, I think it's important to not only go out and respond to the call, but
Yes.
also once the call has been completed, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that experience? So immediately I got back and I felt the call in the urge and deep desire to go to the New York Film Academy up in New
Uh-huh.
York City.
I
And
feel I
so,
feel excitement just building up, like some knowledge bombs about to be dropped on me. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, and I did just that. And you know when something's right when you just know. It's hard to explain that sense of knowing. You can try, you can sit down and do checks and minuses and pros and cons and
Mhm.
try to explain to someone why you're doing what you're doing. But sometimes you just know. It just feels right. And you just have this sense of knowing. And then maybe after it's done, you can explain how you knew. But you just have this sense of knowing. And so when I got back, I just knew that I needed to go to the screenwriting class at the New York Film Academy. I had all this inspiration, all this creativity that was flowing. I needed to put it somewhere. I needed to share it. And so when I finished the Vision Quest, I had a haiku. And my haiku is a short saying that was my purpose. And my purpose was to tell the stories of old to new generations so they're not forgotten. And that was my haiku. And so the New York Film Academy screenwriting course fit perfectly. So for 3 nights a week, from January until March, I was traveling up to New York City at night after work for the Film Academy. And I had to tell you, it was great being there. We were supposed to meet Ice-T from SVU, but instead I got to read Richard Bowser, which was pretty cool. He had a talk with us. And so during the course of the screenwriting class, I just had all these ideas of, the Sly Fox that was going to come out and all these other animated, individuals, and the storylines were just flowing. And I was just all over the place. And I was trying to concentrate to bring that into a solid storyline for a screenplay. And I have to tell you, it was a mess because it was just too much. And so there really wasn't a center. So I signed up again for the second part, which was from April until June. And then I realized that I didn't receive just one thing of inspiration. I received a whole catalog of inspiration. And so just imagine a giant ball of yarn that you might see out in Kansas somewhere. All I had to do was take out one thread, and then the one thread just opened up and told its own story. So, in actuality, what I received is I received all these other information that will have its own story. I just have to unpack it one at a time. And that made a tremendous difference in that second half. So much so that I was able to just create characters and storylines that left everybody in awe. And so that was one of the amazing experiences. And then the other thing that I learned from a creative standpoint is that I will never run out of ideas. Some,
Wow.
I think sometimes I'll speak for myself. I had that fear of being a one hit wonder on something, that I'll have one hit and then I'll just fade into oblivion because there's nothing else that would come out. And I learned something in that moment that that's not the true. What is true is that I have an endless well of inspiration within me that flows through me, that is a lifetime worth of work. And so that was very humbling and that was very real to come to that understanding.
Wow. And that's a really big epiphany. It's like you just bulldozed so many years of fear
Yes.
just with that thought. Because once we have a thought like that in our mind, well, if I'm a one-hit wonder, then it's like, then why bother? It like shuts down
Agreed.
so many avenues for you. So it's like everything just opened. And I'm just gonna put that right there because
Well, thank you. Thank you. And so that's a great cue because for those who are creative, having the inspiration can come very easily to a lot of people. For me, my mind is just a movie that just doesn't stop. However, to go from inspiration to an actual tangible thing takes a lot of perspiration. And that's the hard part. And so what you see there at the bottom of the screen is that last year, I actually, after 20 years of having the first thought about this children's book, I actually was able to publish it last year. And now I wasn't writing for 20, each year for those 20 years. I would pick it up, work with it, and say it's done. And then later I would come back and say, no, we're not done. And so what I learned from that is that what I ended up doing was just writing down what I was feeling, seeing, and sensing, and just recording. The characters came to life. They had their own story to tell. All I had to do was get out of the way and just record. Now, it takes work to be able to edit all of that and everything, and that was hard. That was really hard, but it was an amazing experience. And out of the one story, which was supposed to be a picture book, turned out to be an early chapter book for young readers. And the one story has now turned into 24 stories because it's a series of other characters who came to life during the course of this writing who want to share their story too. And so it's like the gift that just keeps giving, but I got to
you
work at it.
Yes, but you got to work at it for
Yeah.
sure. Erica says that your story was beautiful and I can purchase this book for my girls. Thank you,
Oh,
Erica.
thank you, Erica.
And
Thank you.
speaking of young, youthful, and inner child, it's that time to put some pressure on you a little bit with the Apollo Games.
All right.
Okay, so you guys know, get the husband, get the wives, get the kitties. It's time for the Apollo Games where I put my guest under some pressure. And essentially, June, there's going to be a question that's asked to you. And what you're going to do is you're just going to use your best intuitive guess or Google, whatever. And you're going to state to everyone what your answer is. And you guys at home are going to play along. And if you play along and you actually complete this task and you win, you will get from me. I know, I'm like Oprah. I'm super generous. A social distancing high five. Oh my God. How does she do it? They ask. But this is Divine Encounters after all. So are you ready, Jim, to be challenged?
Let's go for it.
Your task here is to guess what's inside of the tiny recycling bin. Here's your options.
Okay.
What's inside this tiny recycling bin? Is it owl, leopard, elephant, frog? Select what feels right to you and comment in the comment section below. Review time!
Okay, so those are your options. Now, everybody, put that up on the screen and let me know what you think. Erica says that she is ready. The house front is ready. How about you, sir? How do you feel? What animal were you feeling in this little box?
Well, in thinking about it, I would say the leopard. However, the first thought that came to mind was the owl.
That was for you. How about you guys at home? Drop it in the comment section below. No pressure, but you have to make a decision, and you have until the end of this clip. Okay, now you guys had some option there. It was owl, leopard, frog, and elephant. That was your options. Let's see what Let's see. Hi, Scorp Zero. Mom says it's a frog. Samantha says leopard. Scorp Zero says also leopard. So we got 2 leopard. And you also were feeling leopard, right? I hope my clothes are not influencing anybody today.
Hey, that would have been a good hint.
Both of my girls say owl, but Erica believes elephants. And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and put it in the comments below, because I would like to know. I'll be watching. Let's see if you're right.
What's inside this tiny recycling bin? Is it owl, leopard, elephant, frog? Select what feels right to you and comment in the comment section below. Reveal time! Did you guess elephant?
Oh, so close. So close. No, not really, but so close. Erica, she got it. Erica got it. High five. Social distancing high five for you,
Yeah.
friend. So thank you everybody for playing. Don't worry, you guys still get a participation fist bump. There you go. You know, no, there are no losers here at Divine Encounters. Just the wrong answer. So don't worry about it. Oh man. So let everybody know where they can get a hold of you one more time, Jim. So plug yourself a little bit here. Yeah.
Sure. For right now, the best place to get a hold of me is my Facebook webpage at Listening to Us. And that's the ampersand LISTENING, the number 2, us. And you can go to that page and like that page. And hopefully you'll be able to be enlightened and inspired by the many stories that are there. It's loaded with a lot of stories. I still have a lot more stories to put up that haven't been posted yet. And I have probably about three more weeks to go. 2.5 to 3 weeks to go. I'm in New Mexico, so I just have to go through Arizona and head to sunny Cal, and then it will be done.
Or will it be beginning?
Yeah. Oh, well, the next leg will begin.
Yes, yes. This is so great. I really thank you for being here, and I really appreciate your energy today. You have been an amazing inspiration to me. I love everything that you're doing. Me and Jim go back a little bit, and I'm very grateful for you and your energy. And I want you to hang out for a little bit while we get to the Midweek Collective, which I hope everybody is ready and waiting for it. The Midweek Collective, yes.
All right. Yes, I will hang out. And I enjoy all the classes I took at HOW when you were the facilitator at HOW. That was a great experience.
Aw, thank you, friend. And you guys can also still have a great experience with me. I'm going to shamelessly plug myself right now. And you guys can also go ahead and hit me up at howwellness.com or learn with me. I have free meditations, and you see all my classes on there. Meetup.com, Awaken Philadelphia. Okay, Jim, we'll see you in a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right. So you guys know it's the Midweek Collective Energy reading. But real quick, I want you guys to know that the network that I'm on is having a contest. And so basically they're telling us to pick an episode where we're going to have the most comments and the most views. And if we win a $50 gift card. And I know that I just want to win. So let me let you guys know that the last Wednesday of the month, the 28th, instead of bringing on a guest, I'm going to do for all of you guys at home a live mediumship reading. And I want you guys to bring your family and your friends and see if we can get in touch with your loved ones. It's the week of Halloween. And for that whole hour, I will be bringing messages from beyond the 28th. Okay. So yeah, so I hope you guys join me for that on the last week of this month. So now for the Midweek Collective Energy Blessings Forecast. Actually, that's a lie. I'm lying to all of you. I'm terrible. I just brought it up a new segment, and it's the 1 minute astrology.
Mercury is in retrograde, October 13th to November 3rd. With this retrograde, you could be experiencing technological issues, lost mail. Not a great time to be signing contracts, as this could create some type of miscommunication and have further delays. This retrograde is starting out in the fixed water sign Scorpio, but then it's moving. October 23rd, it retrogrades back into its cardinal air sign Libra. While Mercury is retrograding through Scorpio, the water signs, Cancer, Pisces will relatively be having an easier time. But like the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius will definitely be struggling. The pressure eases off the fixed signs once October 23rd hits, and everybody will start to feel better. But then the trade-off is the cardinal signs. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn will start to feel the pressure. Make sure you're keeping a balanced home front and an optimistic outlook, and you'll get through this fine.
Welcome back, Mercury retrograde. I'm sure everybody here is so excited about your return. Welcome home. Okay, jumping into the midweek energy reading, I'm going to give you guys a little bit about what's going to be happening the rest of the week. So yeah, let's begin. So right here we have the Wheel of Fortune. This card came up right today, so it's letting me know that fate, change, and fortune, it's on its way. There is a lot of energy shifting, especially with Mercury happening today, but don't worry. This is shifting for the better. The upright Wheel of Fortune is saying that fortune and luck are on your side right now. So things might seem like they're going to be coming through much more with ease. We have, as far as the totem animal for the week, we have Chameleon. Conceal ambition and patience until it is time to make your move. So a lot of times I feel like for this, it's kind of like, hey, you're going to allow yourself to make your moves in silence. You're going to allow yourself to train in silence, because when you are ready, and not until then, and not a moment before, that's when the universe is going to vindicate you publicly. But in the meantime, you have to stay quiet, keep your head low, and keep pushing forward. Keep allowing yourself to skillfully master what you're working on, to allow yourself to work on your healing facets so that you can let go, rebuild, make yourself stronger, make yourself better. The blessing this week is coming in is Angel Daniel. He is bringing the blessing, and these are not tarot cards. These are blessing cards that are being expedited to you right now. And the angels do not help unless you ask for it. So you just have to say, I claim this blessing at the bottom of the screen there. And you have Angel Michael, who is the angel of protection, bringing in daring, the energy of daring. This is kind of allowing you to see things from a broader perspective, to detach, to be bold, to be brave. I feel for some of you, it may be also to release some toxic things within your environment, chemicals, schedules, or habits. I do feel like that is coming in for some of you today. So I just want to point that out. Additionally, it's all about cleansing that energy. We have the number 9 card. When I see this number 9 card, it's like we're about to complete something, and you guys had that Wheel of Fortune. So this is kind of like we're all in the process of building it upward. And in this process of building it upward, we're going to then plateau. When we plateau, last card, we are going to have that learning experience. So things are going to be integrating, wisdoms are going to be integrating. We'll be having like Jim said, that infinite well of inspiration. We'll be able to tap into that because we've now learned how to tap into that. We've now learned that it's accessible. We now learn that we have that within ourselves. So I see a lot of you guys claiming it. I'm going to pull one more blessing because I feel so inclined. You guys are going to laugh. Look at this. So, a second ago, I pulled you guys happiness, daring is the blessing I pulled. And the third one, it's the double Daniel happiness. So I would say that this is kind of like, hey, really apply yourself, really feel optimistic, look for the future, look at hope, look at faith, allow yourself to see and acknowledge the blessings in your life. Happiness is coming, but we have to be aware of the blessings that we have currently in order to receive those happiness, of course. But fortune is smiling on all of you guys. So go ahead, guys. You guys get it. And that is the midweek energy of today. We have some people here claiming it. Scorp Zero is claiming it. Erica is also claiming it. Samantha is claiming it. Coral is claiming it. And this is amazing. So thank you guys for being here. Bring Jim back on. Hey, how do you feel about this? You're going to have to unmute yourself, though.
I said, I'm claiming it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Claim it.
Yes. It's amazing to see how things work synergetically, so everything is tying in from tonight's tonight's conversation. And so that's just awesome because it reinforces everything and it allows it to sink in deeper. You know, we are multidimensional beings. And so to be able to receive information and inspiration at different levels is awesome, which means it's just, solidifies that divine encounter.
Yes, yes. And it's fun because it's like every time we do the good news opening, I feel like it always pertains to like what the story is. And it's not like something that is pre-chosen. You know, I just shuffle and we grab, right? Because we invite the message in. And then at the end, when we do this, I feel like it's kind of like summarizing a little bit, like, and kind of like taking from what we talked about that evening, kind of, and like you said, to reinforce it.
Yes.
That's really fun. Oh, and Scorp Zero, you have a whole family with you today. This is awesome. Thank you for being here. Jim, I really appreciate you being here. This was lovely. Thank you for being here. You guys can get in touch with him here on Facebook. And of course, I'm here every Sunday and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And this Sunday, bringing you all of your horoscopes for next week. These are available on replay on my YouTube, on Facebook, on Roku, on all the platforms. So if you guys want to replay your horoscopes from this week, you still can. I feel like some people kind of get the impression that they kind of go away once the live stops. But you can absolutely get your replays and rewatch this as well. And don't forget, you have a chance to win with me, the Oracle of Apollo, and channeled angel message and blessing that I will tell you live here on Wednesday night. All you guys got to do is email me. I don't know. We've done 24 episodes, Jim, and I've only done 2. I have no idea why. I've only done 2. Just email me. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
I will say though, Erica, she messaged me a few days ago because she got her reading done here on Sunday night. And she said that for her sign, there was an opportunity blessing coming. And literally the next day, she actually got an opportunity to make investments in a company. And I was like, wow, that's so cool.
That is.
And then I have a Taurus who wound up getting the judgment card last week. And literally I was showing it to them. And 5 minutes later, they wound up getting served legal paperwork. Like literally 5 minutes after watching the feed. And I was like, everyone was really upset. But then I was just like, but did you know that I was right? It broke the tension in the room. You know what I mean? It was like the tension was like, and I was just like, yeah, but did you realize that Taurus, Taurus said that they were going to get judge paperwork. And look at that. Literally 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
So it was a really fun experience. So thank you guys for being here with me today and with Jim. I hope to see you guys Sunday night. You can go to the Divine Encounters Facebook page, which is Divine Encounters at E360 TV on Facebook, and set a reminder. Give us a like. Set a the reminder is always on my YouTube. Hit like and subscribe on my YouTube and you'll get the reminder. And come back for Wednesday the 28th so I can win that $50 Amazon gift card and give you guys mediumship readings in exchange. All you got to do is show up and bring your dead people with you. We're about it. That is it. Just bring them with you and we'll have a great time. Thank you, everyone, from the bottom of my heart. May you all go in love, light, and wisdom, as always. 2, know thyself, love thyself, and remember, the divine always has your back. Ciao.